Alright, well, I guess we are live. I'm going to start our 2K game. Who's going to drop 70 this time?
Scalabrini.
No, Kendrick Perkins. You were wrong.
Who's the point guard for those? It's Rondo, isn't it?
Rondo.
Damn, I was hoping it was like a Heat thing where it's like Mario Chalmers and Norris Cole just drop 50 out of nowhere.
Oh, that'd be so fire.
Bro, if I ever used to, like, back on like 2K13 and shit, if I played with those teams, I would literally like run the plays through Mario Chalmers
I mean,
for most of the games.
that's a vibe, dude. Rondo is probably a little bit better of an option, though, in my ethical opinion.
I had a soft spot for Rondo that 1 year or half year that he played.
Scalabrini is at the end of the bench for the Celtics.
Of course he is. That's his spot.
That's where he lives.
But there's one like overtime game when he played for the Nets, and it goes to like it was a playoff game. I can't remember. It might have been like 04 against the Pistons, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And like the game goes to triple overtime, and like everybody's fouled out. So Scalabrini ends up like playing really good minutes, and he's the hero. He drops like 30 points.
I kid you not. Scalabrini is the seventh man for the Nets here, but he's at the end of the bench for the Celtics.
Do the 2K teams still have like those three random dudes at the end of the bench, like Jay Smith?
There's like
whatever, and they'll
six
just
of them
bald.
for the Nets.
I hate that, man.
That's because they can't remember who the hell's actually on that team.
You play as like the 01-02 Kings. It's like, where's Scott Pollard? It's like, nah, it's Jay Smith.
Well, the reason you
Who
don't
the fuck was Jay Smith?
You don't get that guy because he's probably a part of the 2K or the Players Association that wants $1 million donated before they're in the game.
I hate that shit, man.
All right, well, I guess we might as well get started here. So, welcome in everyone who is, breathing and joining us today. I'm Yank, joined by Skippy today. Tank is once again not here. We figured out he's alive though. We're getting somewhere.
We found him.
We found him. Now, do you think we could get him? That's a different story. Personally speaking, I hope he comes back. We have to start bribing him. So, anyways.
I can offer him less harsh Lakers takes. That's about it. That's my best offer.
No, we need harsher Lakers takes. We need the harshest.
True, they
Lakers
suck.
Take. All right, anyways, we're going to go ahead and start off here with a Lakers take. So, the biggest news around the NBA, we got our first trade. Last episode, we were talking about how there was a dry spell of trades. And then we're here. We got a Rui Hachimura trade of 3 second-round picks and Kendrick Nunn for Rui Hachimura. Personally speaking, I think the Lakers absolutely got finessed. But I know Skippy got a few words.
Honestly, I think both teams got finessed, but yeah, more so the Lakers, considering that they have no picks to begin with, and they're just handing out 3 for a bust, basically. The Kendrick Nunn thing doesn't really factor in for me. It's like the player-wise, you're just swapping, potential that's probably never going to come for potential that's probably never going to come. I mean, I was watching Skip and Shannon the other day, and they were talking about this very thing. And they're talking about, Rui Hachimura is a sharp shooter from 3, and he can play defense, and, he's long and rangy. And I'm like, what the hell have they been watching? What the hell has Shannon been smoking? Because I watched a little bit of the Wizards this year because I actually thought they were going to be a half-decent team, like at least 500, and they're not even that. And Hachimura has just continued to be what I've seen from him his entire career, which is nothing, really. A role player at best. Yeah, he may be coming off the bench and scoring 13 points, but I mean, there's a lot of other players that you can pay to do that. His career 3-point percentage is 35 or sub 35%. And if you've ever watched him play defense, he's running around out there like a headless chook. The only thing that saves him is having a bit of length. So
I mean,
all these people that are rapping about Rui, I don't understand it personally.
yes, he was like the 8th pick like 4 years ago. He,
Ninth pick, yeah.
yeah, like he's done pretty much nothing on a team that isn't necessarily the best, and definitely gave him the opportunities to be good.
Oh, well,
So
these first 2 seasons he was starting for the Wizards, and now he's coming off the bench behind Porzingis and Kuzma, which is, justified. They're decent players, but
they're,
still, like, he's not getting as many minutes as, like, Denny Avdia, for example, who can't even shoot a three.
but at least Denny Abdia is doing something productive.
At least he can play defense.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, he goes to the Lakers, and it's another head-scratching moment for Rob Pelinka. You have LeBron James. 4 shooters and LeBron is the key to winning. That's all you got to do. Or you got AD in there. I mean, so the rest of them definitely have to be shooters, perimeter shooters. And, like, if you get in-depth on the stats, yeah, Rui shoots 42% from the corner on catch and shoot. But, I don't go in depth like that. I just look at his overall stats and the eye test. It always comes back to the eye test with me. And he's not a very good shooter. He's not a very good defender. So I just look at it like, yeah, the Lakers got rid of one of the millions of guards that they have on their team for a forward, which they did need, but giving up 3 second-round picks, bit of an overpay.
Yeah, you're saying goodbye to Bronny. You're saying goodbye to, all your future assets in 2029. I mean, there's really no reason at all. Like, it was easily the dumbest decision I've ever seen out of the Lakers. Like, why would you give up your future, like, the rest of your future? I mean, you already lost most of it to AD. But, I mean, why would you give up the rest of that shit, just
It's
for
still not
Rui
the dumbest trade.
Hachimura to, Rui Hachimura is probably going to do nothing. I'm going to bet on that right now. Like, I do not think that man, even if the Lakers gave him 32 minutes, I don't think he's really going to be the solving issue. I think you could have picked up a random guy off the free agency and probably gotten a better result.
That's the other thing. He is a restricted free agent at the end of the season. So it's not like you're getting a player that's under contract. Like you have control of him because he's restricted, so you can match any offer. But, yeah, giving up 3 seconds for a dude that, what happens if another team offers him, say, $18 million a season? I know that's definitely probably not going to happen, but it could. I mean, you look at like a team like the Pistons dropped $18 million on Marvin Bagley, and Rui Hachimura I'd put in the same boat as a guy that's like, oh, he was a high pick in the draft. Maybe we can do something with him, and you probably won't be able to do anything with him. But those tanking teams are prepared to gamble on it. And then the Lakers got to match that, or let him walk, and you've just lost 3 second-rounders. Yeah, I don't understand the thinking behind it. Like, the only reason I saw them doing the move is swapping a guard for a forward. So if it was a straight swap or none and 1 second-rounder, it would have just been, oh, yeah, that's a decent trade. But 3, Pelinka, what are you smoking?
Yeah.
Where can I get some?
And I mean, we definitely are. I mean, most of us over here, not necessarily being the biggest Lakers fan, but I mean, this just gives us another level of things to laugh at them for. And I mean, it really just comes down to Rob Pelinka, and what the hell is he doing over there?
And if you look at it like on an overall scheme of things, the Lakers to make the playoffs were plus 600 before the trade went down, and after the trade they're still plus 600. So it hasn't moved the needle at all. So thankfully, a lot of the pundits don't agree with us, but the betting lines definitely agree with us on this take.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people are not going to like this take once they get their hands on it, but I mean, it just doesn't make sense. The guy hasn't done anything in the past 3-ish years. And what do the Lakers think is going to change here? It just does not make sense. I mean, yeah, you're putting him next to LeBron, but anyone who gets put next to LeBron's taking a lesser role on offense. That dude's going to be catch and shoot and maybe like the 2 lob passes he gets in a game, and that's it.
Well, even if you look at it like, say they did this trade like a month ago, makes perfect sense. You got a guy coming in, like it's still an overpay. You got a guy coming in to fill that AD void. Lonnie Walker's been missing since the back end of December. Like you've got a combo forward that you can play in there, and the Lakers do need forwards. So it would have made sense. But AD's coming back in like, what, this week?
Today.
Lonnie Walker is questionable. Well, Lonnie Walker's also... Yeah, Lonnie Walker's also questionable, so he probably won't play today. But in the next game, he'll most likely be back. He's the starting 3. So it's either Hachimura replaces Lonnie Walker at the 3, or he just comes off the bench. This is exactly what he was doing in Washington. Like,
exactly. I mean, yeah, you're putting him next to Westbrook if he does come off the bench, but how much is that really going to do? They literally were teammates.
They're pretty much rebuilding the 2020 Wizards over there.
They really
Westbrook, Troy Brown Jr., Rui Hachimura, and like, I hate to break it to you Lakers fans, but that team sucked.
Yeah. Just because you're putting LeBron there does not make a team that good. We've already seen last year.
My opinion on the Lakers this year doesn't really change with that trade. I don't think they're going to make the play-in. If they do, they'll be the 10th seed, like 9th if they go on a bit of a roll. But like at the start of the season, I had them finishing 11th because I didn't trust AD and LeBron and their bodies. And I've never really liked Westbrook. I think we've touched on this before. But, yeah, good luck to you, LA. We'll be laughing at you from Sacramento.
That's definitely for sure. I mean, yeah, they're currently the 13th seed. They're only a game behind the 12th seed. But, you know, it's going to get really, really funny if, you know, because, I mean, we just touched on this too. You know, the 4th to the 13th seed, not the 16th seed, is literally 4 games away from each other. From 4th to 13th. And I mean, imagine if the Lakers are still in the same spot. You know, they end the season 13th. They didn't really improve anything. They're just shy of 500. I mean, it'd be so hilarious. Just to see them throw away their future to the Pelicans and the Wizards. Mainly the Pelicans.
It just goes back to, like, last year's trade. Like, they should have just traded Kuzma for Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. They should have done that deal, and LeBron wanted Westbrook, which will probably go down as one of the stupidest decisions in recent history. Probably in LeBron's career, that'll probably be his one big regret. Oh, man, I wasted the back end of my prime / career on Westbrook.
I mean, even with, Westbrook playing rather well now, it still isn't that good of a trade just to have your, a sixth man. This is not all-star Westbrook. This is, he's leading all time on triple doubles off the bench. But what is a triple double off the bench really gonna do when it comes to your record?
Well, he still puts up the numbers, but it's the things that everybody started seeing last year when he was under the spotlight with LA. It's the turnovers, it's the boneheaded plays. He can't shoot. Like, overall, he's a net negative for a team.
Literally, like, there is not too much to really, praise that man for, other than the fact that he can put up a triple double every once in a while. And even in a league like today, a lot of players are going to be putting up random triple doubles. We don't necessarily need Westbrook to be the guy doing it. He's got to figure out how to, blend in to make use of himself. Otherwise, I could see Westbrook having a little bit of trouble this offseason because this is his last year of his contract. And he won't be worth $40 million anymore.
I think we've touched on it at some point, maybe in one of our earlier podcasts, but like the sixth man thing has sort of revitalized him a little bit. So I probably won't be as harsh, but at one point, like at the start of the season, I was looking at Westbrook as a guy that's probably not going to be in the league next year. Like, because I couldn't see him going to another team because he wanted that starting role. And he probably still deep down wants to be a starter and wants to be a star. And I'm Russell Westbrook. I put up triple doubles. I'm a former MVP. Like, you're not that guy. You're not going to get paid like that guy. Like, I never really saw a future for him. But now with the 6-man thing, you know, I could see him taking a vet minimum or, you know, a mid-level exception to go somewhere. I don't see him getting a full-time contract. Maybe some team throws him a bone 2 years at $10 million a season or something. But yeah, he's not getting that's $40 million. That's for sure.
You know, there's a nice chant for Russell Westbrook that a lot of people do. Overrated. Don't need that man, bro. He can leave. He could leave the league. I don't really care that much. Take his West bricks and, you know, settle down and enjoy your $40 million while it lasts. Now, we have a few other trades as well that, you know, well, mainly rumors here, but, you know, a lot of players are being thrown out there all over social media for this team is testing the waters with, you know, whoever the hell, Naz Reid. And, you know, there's a lot of names out here. And, I mean, the first one I saw that was really interesting was Fred VanVleet is getting thrown out there. I think he has interest from New York, of course, and actually a few contending teams as well. I think Miami and what's the other one that always asks for players? Well, anyways.
Probably like a Milwaukee or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's interesting that you mentioned Miami, actually, because I was just thinking as soon as you said the name Fred VanVleet, I'm like, what team actually needs a point guard?
Miami.
Perfect example. I mean,
Kyle Lowry has
going
not
back
been
to
doing
Toronto.
anything.
It makes sense for both sides. I mean, Lowry would probably be happy to go back to Toronto. I mean, it's the only place really in his career that he's had any sort of success. I mean, he had a little bit of his success with Houston and Memphis, but not like he did in Toronto. I mean, he's an NBA champion with them, and I'm sure they'd be happy to have him back. And on the flip side, yeah, as you said, he's been doing nothing for Miami. So might as well get VanVleet in there, he's been inconsistent this year, but offers a lot more than what Kyle Lowry has. I mean, they can't keep bumping up the minutes for Gabe Vincent because that's not going to get him anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's like actually kind of funny because, you know, the Pelicans and the Heat, remember when Kyle Lowry was first looking at places to sign, it was between those two, and Pelicans actually offered more money. Imagine if the Pelicans would have got stuck with that instead.
I don't think it would have bothered the Pelicans that much. They've got enough assets there that if they have a dud contract, they can flip it. You know, just use one of those Lakers picks, one of the millions of Lakers picks that they have.
Yeah, it's true.
Back on the Lakers, whereas Miami, Pat Riley will always find a way to get a deal done, but like they're pretty restrained in what they can do.
But yeah, I mean, they have a few dud contracts over there in Miami. I mean, Duncan Robinson has not done anything since he signed that contract. Kyle Lowry hasn't either. I mean, what's the chance we could see another, Lakers trade with that, huh?
You know what? There's probably some forum out there on the internet where they are discussing it because if there's a player up for trade, the Lakers are involved.
The Lakers are almost involved with everybody.
That would be a dud trade, I think. They'd probably get finessed out of one of those first rounders too, judging by Pelinka's track record. Oh, we'll give you a first rounder for Kyle Lowry. That's a good deal. He's an idiot, but no, I like that. I like VanVleet. That is something else would probably have to be involved in it.
It would
I would
probably
think.
end up being Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry, and probably another, probably a pick, I'd assume. But I mean, we could just see a third player, and then the Toronto gives up a guy that they don't
I don't think there'll be
necessarily.
any picks, just because Miami are sort of hamstrung on what they can give up. I wouldn't see any picks. I'd probably see like a 2-for-1 sort of deal or 2-for-2.
It's definitely gonna have to be a 2 for 2 deal because I know that Kyle
Like
Lowry and Duncan Robinson are not cheap together, and I know that I
I
mean
don't, I
Fred
don't,
has a
I don't
big
know.
contract, but I don't think it's that big.
I don't think they'd be able to drop both of them. Like I don't think you can drop two turds on a team.
Well, I mean, a
Um,
team like Toronto that's putting Scotty Barnes at point guard at times, I think they would be fine at taking their chances.
the funny thing is though, I think the Raptors are still think they're in with a chance to to clinch a play-in spot at the very least. So I don't think they're going to just give away stuff. Like if you're getting Van Vliet, I think they'd probably ask for. I reckon the deal would be something along the lines of like a Van Vliet and say like a Malachi Flynn or something who's on a cheap contract, and then like coming back the other way, it'd be like Kyle Lowry and Caleb Martin or Max Struess or something. I think.
I'm honestly thinking, if they're trading away Fred at that point in time, they're down with about literally anything. I mean, they could just pick up 2 duds just to feel like it. Because I mean, they're trying everything over there, and I mean, it's not necessarily working out to their favor. But I mean, they're only like a game or two out of the play-in. I
That's what
mean,
I mean. And the way that Siakam's been balling this year, like you don't quit on your season when you got a player like that unless you're actually gonna blow it up completely. And that's like, trading away OG and Fred and listening to offers for Siakam. I don't think they're quite at that point.
I don't think you have enough time to listen to enough offers about Siakam. At that point, that stuff would be out on the media at this point if Toronto was looking to sell out.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think they do that. And also there is that rumor going around that they're interested in Pirtle. So that's a buying move. That's not a selling move. So I think the Raptors are a buying team.
I think there's like 6 different rumors going around about Pirtle. But I mean, actually, funny enough, one of the rumors out there about Pirtle is, in fact, a 3-team trade involving Gary Trent for Pirtle. That would be the headliner. Which I mean, that's not terrible for Toronto. I know Gary Trent has been pretty disappointing this season compared to last.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of rumors about Pirtle. Toronto would probably be a good fit. They don't have a traditional center. I mean, Siakam's playing a lot of center at the moment for them, like point center sort of thing. Because I think Precious Achua is still out injured. He
No,
was
he's
their center.
back. He's
He's
back.
back.
He's been back. He's been back for like a week or
Um,
two now.
yeah, haven't been paying attention if I'm being honest. Much crafters.
I mean,
Um,
that's valid.
but yeah, I think Pirtle will be a good fit. I mean, he's been there. He's played there before, so I mean, I don't think he has any sort of disdain for being in Toronto, like a lot of players would, like having to make the move. He's been there before, knows what to expect. Um, and he's a good player. Like he's a solid center, can run the play through him a little bit. He's a decent defender. He's a really good rebounder, both offensive and defensive. That'd be a good move. And like as you said, Gary Trent hasn't been doing anything really. Um, been a disappointment. I mean, so's Norman Powell's been a disappointment. So that trade was sort of a bust for a bust. So I don't think
Norman
they're too
Powell's
upset
actually
about it.
picked it up recently. He's averaging, I think, this past week, he's averaging like 25 off the bench. I want to say.
Yeah, once they've got their full complement back, though, the Clippers, like he's really just an ancillary player. He's not,
He's he's their off the bench.
he's not getting used as much as he should. Um, but yeah, no, like I don't know what the other details would be in a 3-team trade, but like if say we were just doing a straight swap like Pirtle for Trent, I think both teams would be relatively happy with that. I think Gary Trent's not that old. He's only like, what, 23, 24, something like that.
Somewhere around there. He's not that old.
So,
He's on I think a 3 or 4 year deal, I want to say.
But San Antonio probably don't care about the money as long as he meshes with Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, that sort of age group. They can all come up together because I think that's what San Antonio is gonna bank on building around. Same with they'll probably get rid of Josh Richardson at some point. I haven't seen any rumors about it, but I would assume they're going to get rid of him because he doesn't fit the timeline. He's been playing pretty decent, but I could see that happening. But yeah, I think a bigger team will probably come in for Pirtle at some point.
I definitely think that Pirtle is gonna be moving somewhere because I don't think San Antonio really needs him. Because I mean, he's on the last year of his deal. He's probably gonna be not staying there because I mean, if San Antonio's pushing for Wemby, there's no reason to keep Pirtle around.
No.
Also, I just want to give you a fun fact, Skippy. Buddy Hield has 4 steals. Again.
Is that today? I was watching that game.
2 games in a row.
I was watching that game a little bit today. I didn't see him steal anything, but then again, I was at the gym, so I wasn't paying complete attention. All I can say is they're playing the Magic. I mean, a bunch of kids. They're going to be sloppy with the ball. Wouldn't read too much into it.
But 2 games in a row, man.
Who'd they play in the last game?
Bulls.
Yeah, there's 2 bum teams in a row. What, are you putting Buddy's name forward for all defense, are you?
Yeah, I definitely am. I think Buddy Hield's going to be the DPOY this year.
See, this is why I never read too much into stats. I mean, so we were saying the other day he got more blocks than Miles Turner.
He did. He also got more steals today than Miles Turner.
So, you look at the stats. Well, Buddy Hield's a better defender than Miles Turner. No, he's not. No. Speaking of Buddy, his name is
his
been
name
in the
is
trade
out
room.
there. Along with Chris Duarte. And, Miles Turner was a lot earlier in the season, but I saw in a report that they're actually planning to keep Miles Turner. I don't know why, but...
Oh, I get it. Miles Turner, again, he's 25, so he's
a free agent
just probably... Yeah, but they've got the money. They got the cap space sitting there. He's 25, so he sort of fits their timeline. And he's a good player. I mean, dudes that lead the league in blocks and shoot over, 37% from 3 don't grow on trees. I know the league is expanding. A lot of big men can shoot 3s and the stretch 5s, all the rage, but ones that can also protect the rim, they're a dime a dozen.
They
so
are.
I can understand Indy wanting to hold on to him. I did see that he still doesn't know where his future is, if he's going to stick around. But if I was part of Miles' management team, I'd implore him to stick around if there's not a contending team coming for him. I mean, every rumor you see is Lakers, and I'm not going there.
I know that Miles Turner said if I was the Lakers, I would have traded for me and Buddy Hield at the beginning of the season. But I think that's long past, especially with this Rui deal. They just lost every asset that Pacers would have wanted.
I would have done that deal, but getting back on Buddy, I know I just shit all over him in his defensive prowess, but he is a useful player. I mean, he's since he's been in the league, I think he's second for 3-pointers behind Steph Curry. I mean, that's no mean feat. When you've got a player that's that much of a sharpshooter from behind the arc, he is useful. I mean, he can't defend, can't play make, can't really do anything else. Takes way too many mid-range shots. But he can shoot the 3, and we've seen in the modern NBA, that's really the only skill set you need to have.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that, Buddy Hield can go in there and, put up 6 threes in a game and also put up, 24 points or whatever. You know, I mean, that's not a terrible stat line to have as, not necessarily your main player, but like, that second or third scoring option. There's no
I think
complaints
the
about
only
there.
I think the only thing that probably holds him back is his contract. He's earning over 20 mil at the
That is
moment on his
true.
current contract, which is the max that the Kings gave him. Good job, Sacramento. Glad
Woo.
to be rid of him. But like, say if he was on like a decent contract, like I could see no reason why like the Bucks wouldn't just straight up try and trade like Grayson Allen in a second rounder for him or something like that. But the contract complicates things.
Grayson Allen
Um,
also on the trade block.
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's probably why the name sprung to my mind.
I don't think, I don't think we're gonna be seeing anything out of the Bucks though. I don't. It doesn't make sense for them, especially just
I could see
losing
him
Bobby
making.
Portis.
I could see him making like a little move, you know, something like even if it's Grayson Allen out and they trade for like a Bobby Portis cover, you know, just something like that. Yeah, they won't make big moves. They don't have to make big moves. They're a championship contender if they stay stagnant.
Very true. And I mean, we could just jump right into this as well. The Bobby Portis injury and what this means for the Bucks, especially Bobby Portis, because Bobby Portis was on route to be sixth man of the year this year. He was playing really well off the bench. I mean, some people I think are very underappreciated of Bobby Portis. I think he's a great player. He does a lot on the
Yeah,
floor.
I'll be honest. It took me a couple of years to come around to him. I didn't really think much of him. I just thought he was like an Energizer Bunny sort of guy, you know, that just runs his mouth. But no, his play's been really good the last couple of years. You know, now that the Bucks have, you know, they got over the hump and been a contender. Obviously, you watch him a lot more in the playoffs, and he's a good player to have on the team. Like, so they will miss him. But I think it was only an MCL sprain, wasn't it, that it's come out
Yeah, it's only going to be like, 2-ish weeks, but
couple of weeks, yeah. So I don't think it's going to be that big a deal at the end of the day. I mean, it won't hurt his sixth man of the year chances. I mean, you've only got to play like 55 games plus or something to be in the running for an award. I mean, there was people last season talking about Bam Adebayo for Defensive Player of the Year, and he played like half the season, so
very true.
shouldn't hurt him in those. Like, the only thing is you worry about lingering issues. Maybe maybe he doesn't come back completely from the sprain, or it puts him out of his rhythm that he was in. But we'll have to wait and see. But I think the Bucks should be fine. They'll be able to cover for him.
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, maybe they do something at the trade deadline that's real funky. Trade for Robin Lopez.
They've already had him, haven't they?
They have. That's the main reason why I wanted to mention that again. See the Lopez duo back at it. I swear the funniest
Brooks
thing
been
is
killing it.
when people like mic up Robin Lopez when he's versing his brother. Like the amount of funny stuff he says is like hilarious.
Every time I think of Robin Lopez, I just think of that time he hit the three and stirred the cup of tea. That will forever be.
Not the amount
I
of
love
times
those.
he's bullied the Bulls mascot.
No, no, no. The cup of tea.
You're funny for that one.
Hey, anyone who dunks a tea bag is a winner in my books. I drink tea every morning.
I drink tea every morning as well. I have to admit. Real funny thing here, you know, randomly going around things, but some people may or may not have noticed the fact that Chris Paul was thrown out there. Well, not necessarily in a trade, but the Phoenix Suns reportedly, um, from the NBA Insider, I believe, say that they are looking at assessing their future without Chris Paul on the lineup. And some of the names that were thrown out there was in fact Fred VanVleet. Who's that Knicks point guard? I don't even remember.
Quickly.
Emmanuel Quickly. Those two are like the headliners for taking over Chris Paul's job on Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, they're sort of getting a look at their future at the moment because he hasn't suited up at all this year, like he has, but not really. He hasn't done anything to influence them. That's why you're looking at a sub 500 Phoenix Suns team right now. I mean, Devin Booker being out doesn't help. The Jay Crowder situation should have been sorted out a long time ago, and it's still lingering. DeAndre Ayton just playing like he just doesn't want to be there. So I think Chris Paul is the least of the Suns' worries at the moment, but like I always thought when he signed that contract extension, I think it was last year, it might have been the year before, but I'm pretty sure it was last year, before the start of last season. I looked at it and I thought, this could turn bad. I mean, he's always had injury problems. He's not getting any younger. So what happens if he starts missing massive chunks of time? And that's exactly what's happening now. Plus his play just, if you look at his numbers, I know I don't like to go by the numbers, but they do give you a good gauge. Like he's been putting up less attempts and shooting worse percentages year on year on year. It's gotten to the point now where he's not really a threat offensively himself. He can still assist and set up the play like he always has. But with that team with Phoenix that they built, you need Chris Paul to give you some numbers, to give you some points, give you some scoring output, to take that pressure off a Book, because besides those two, they don't really have anybody else out there.
And we've definitely proven that with DeAndre Ayton's level of play recently.
Yeah, and like I love Mikal Bridges, but like, what, you're going to rely on him to up his scoring average to 20s? Like that's not happening.
That man's putting up 12, and that's it. Do not ask that man for more.
And they were hoping for Cam Johnson to take a step this year, which he sort of did before he got injured. But yeah, I think they can look around for a Chris Paul trade, but any team that's willing to take him on, I think, would be doing themselves and their fans a disservice. To be honest, I think he's done.
That full agree on that. I don't know how much longer. I mean, he might retire before his contract expires. That might be it for him. And I mean, another thing, actually, now that I think about it, I did see Jay Crowder on the trade block. Well, obviously, but I think the Bucks were working on a deal for him. And I'm assuming that'd be a Grayson Allen for Jay Crowder swap, if anything.
I see that could be a good deal. I mean, Crowder could probably fill that Portis spot. I mean, I don't know what happens to him once Portis comes back. I don't see where there's a spot for him. I mean, you got Middleton, Giannis, Portis, Lopez. Like, I don't know where he fits in that depth chart, but
probably exactly what Grayson Allen was doing.
Yeah, but I don't know. You know, Crowder's more of a 4 or a 3. He's not a guard. Like Grayson Allen's a straight up guard. He's a 2 guard.
Well, you can move like Pat Connaughton to a guard.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he could play the backup 3 behind Middleton. Like I could see that, but
that's the best you're getting out of him. I mean, it'd definitely be a good short term solution for Bobby Portis. But I mean, it wasn't the issue of Jay Crowder the fact that he thinks he should be starting anyways.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
He would not be on the Bucks.
Yeah, no, not a chance.
He is just a
to be honest, I don't think
behind.
there's that many teams in the league where he would be starting. I mean, I did see rumors about him maybe going to Miami, but like
you wouldn't start there.
Well,
you wouldn't fit.
They're gonna kick Jimmy Butler out of the team. I mean,
exactly.
Max Strus has been playing really good this year. Like, I probably wouldn't kick you out for Max Strus either because they need that spacing, and Crowder's an inconsistent 3-point shooter.
Yeah, And I mean, it doesn't make sense for him to return back to the Heat. I think if he was to start on any team, it'd be one of those super young teams that need a veteran. But then even in that scenario, that he's going to be pushed out of that lineup within the next year.
Yeah, as soon as they draft someone that they think's capable. This is exactly what happened with Johnson.
It's what happened to a lot of people, actually.
So yeah, I think Jay Crowder's sort of overvalued himself.
He's definitely overvaluing himself. I could see him taking the same path as Robert Covington. That's what he should be going for. Just staying in the league at this point. You're not starting. Just try and stay in it. Stay alive, buddy.
Well, Robert Covington's out of the Clippers rotation at the moment, so I don't even know if that's a role you want, just warming the bench.
Well, used to
it's
be
not really.
playing.
It's a little bit his fault because he hasn't been playing that great, but it's also not. I mean, you look at how many players that the Clippers have, like we were speaking about before with Norman Powell. Like once they've got their full complement there, it's how many minutes can they give? Like there's only a certain amount of minutes that you can hand out. Not everyone's going to get a slice of the cake.
That's very true.
But getting back to it, I just want to touch on that Chris Paul thing. I think we skipped over it a little bit. But like those names you mentioned, Fred VanVleet, Emmanuel Quickley, like I don't see a reason why Toronto or New York would do that deal. I mean, Toronto like sort of makes sense.
New York makes more sense.
But it doesn't though. They got Jalen Brunson. Like
they do, but it's still New York.
What do you need Chris Paul for?
The Garden.
Yeah. Screw the Garden, man. It doesn't mean anything. If New York, the city, was actually that big of an attraction and playing at the Garden was such a big deal, wouldn't more people sign to play there? Like,
well, I heard this from an NBA player on a podcast.
Every time there's a trade or a free agency or whatever, you hear, oh, New York, New York, New York. Like, I'm not American, obviously, like, so I don't understand it. But nobody ever goes there. So, like, I don't get why everyone brings it up. Like, oh, it's the mecca of basketball and it's this big attraction. And
I don't
it's
remember
not, man.
Which NBA player said this, but I did remember watching this on, like, TikTok and stuff, was the fact that NBA players, they said they really like playing in the Garden, but not for the Knicks, because they will get MVP chance from the Garden while they're on a different team. That's the reason why people like playing for the Garden. They don't necessarily want to play for the Garden. They just want to play in the Garden.
Yeah, so your best option is to go to like Brooklyn or something. So you play the Knicks like 3 or 4 times in a season, twice at the Garden, you know, beat up on them. Don't have to worry about it. Like, was the last star they had was Carmelo Anthony, wasn't it, really? And, like, that team didn't do anything.
What about Julius Randle?
Ugh. I mean, they're having a decent season this year, but, like...
He hit 8 3-pointers on the Cavs literally yesterday.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just don't watch Knicks games. I'm not interested. They're just an also-ran team.
I was just watching the Cavs. Then they were just conveniently playing the Knicks.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about Julius Randle, but I know that he's mainly an inside scorer who could shoot threes when he feels like it.
I know he's inconsistent as hell.
That is very true. That is one thing I do know.
That's all I can tell you about Julius Randle. He tries to play make too much, probably, for his own skill set.
Yeah.
He's a good player. He's probably overpaid at this point. But he's a decent player, Julius Randle. I mean, the Lakers were stupid to get rid of him in the first place. You look at that team they had. You look at that team that the Lakers had, like when LeBron first gets there. They got like Randle and Clarkson and Kuzma and Caruso.
D'Angelo Russell.
Just keep that damn team together, man.
If y'all just waited it out like everybody else.
Lonzo Ball, like...
All right, you ready for our 2K finale?
Yeah, sorry
So,
for going, gone off on the Lakers rant again.
uh, we had a simulation high of Ray Allen points. Previous high was 3 points in a game. Now he put up 7, while
Nice.
also shooting 3 of 14.
Oh my god.
That includes 1 of 11 from 3. That
I don't know
is
what that AI is doing, but it's wrong.
genuinely
Whatever they're
incredible
doing is
how
wrong.
bad Ray Allen plays in these simulations. Brian Scalabrine played on both sides and dropped a combined total of 0 points,
Yes.
0
White Mamba.
rebounds, and 1 assist.
Oh yeah, so he did something. You're also forgetting the intangible. Yeah, cheered on his teammates.
Very true. So, I think my mic just cut out. That's not good.
I know. I had a mad echo of myself.
Oh, there we go. It's back. We fixed it. So, let's see who else. Jason Kidd had the most points in the game, 9 points. He shot 4 of 23 from the field, and 0 of 9 from 3. Reminds me of that video that recently surfaced of him shooting with the Mavericks, and he was showing the team his 3-point shooting abilities, and he airballed 7 straight threes.
It's because he didn't have that little gut. He didn't have that gut last time he was playing.
That's very true. And I mean,
That extra weight, he's lost an inch on his vertical.
He's lost his 3 points too. 0 of 9, 4 of 23. Like, why are the top guys just shooting so terribly? That's actually kind of funny. Well,
why
anyways,
are they taking so many shots if they're playing terribly?
37 to 29 was the final score in 24 minutes of play. Not very good. I think this is the lowest scoring game we've had. It was pretty garbage for the fact that Jason Kidd shot 4 of 23. So, we'll go ahead and... Oh, of course, my network's having issues. Ooh. So, let's just, I think we definitely have to keep the Celtics on. We're just going to, do our normal randomize. Let's see who we get. 10-11 Mavericks. That's with also Jason Kidd.
He's not going to be shooting this much. Watch for Dirk.
And Tyson Chandler, don't forget. Come on now. Tyson Chandler's going to shoot
Marion, the
10
Matrix.
10 from 3.
The Matrix is on those teams. Man, he's my favorite player probably. When I first started watching.
And
I love Sean Marion.
Jason Terry off the bench. Peja's here. Karan Butler. JJ Barea.
What about the Jet?
Mahinmi, the GOAT. We're going to see how that goes. Back to our regular scheduled program, which was Chris Paul and, what his life is going to be in the next few years. And, I think it's definitely trending towards, I think Phoenix definitely needs to start preparing for a future without Chris Paul. Not necessarily trade him, but, definitely prepare for a retirement. Or definitely try and force him to retire. Because, who knows what the need for Chris Paul is going to be in 2 years down the road. I might want Cameron Payne more.
Yeah, no, I think they're definitely going to make... If they come to the decision that they're like, oh, let's look at the future without him, they should as they're probably doing. Test the market, see if there's anything out there for him, because I think that's their best option. I mean, I hate Cameron Payne. I'm not going to lie. I think he's a bum. So you can't have him starting if you have championship aspirations. Him, Wainwright, like these are players that shouldn't be playing.
Maybe they should just tank this year and go for Scoot. Maybe that's your future.
Do they even have their pick though? And they're not going once Booker's not like once Booker's back, they're not going to be bad enough to be able to enter the tankathon. Like,
unless
they're not trading Booker.
Booker, you want to get traded? I remember when Booker demanded a trade because Phoenix was like trash for 5 years in a row.
I mean, you never know with the ownership deal supposedly going to be going through soon. I mean, you never know, they might blow it up. I think
it was finalized today that he was taking over the Mercury and the Suns.
I mean, look at what happened to the Timberwolves when they changed owners. They traded 5 first-rounders for Rudy freaking Gobert. So,
very true. I wonder how long anything can happen. Keep his job.
Oh, the GM that they put in. It's literally his first move. Oh, well, I'll just trade away our entire future for the guy that probably isn't going to work with this team. Yeah, that'll work.
He was like, oh yeah, I have championship aspirations. Let me prove it by doing a Gobert trade, because he's a good player.
It's not 2K, bro. You can't just put a bunch of players with good overalls together and be like, yeah, we're going to win. That's not how it works.
Unless you want Gobert shooting 4 of 23 like Jason Kidd.
I don't even think he'd be that good.
Damn. Not even 4 of 23 capable?
Nah. No chance.
And, I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to watch the Suns. I think they will be definitely questioning their future once Chris Paul is gone. Because, you lost your third guy. And, DeAndre Ayton is some booty cheeks. And Miles Bridges... Wait, Mikal, not Miles. Miles is not here.
Miles. Miles doesn't exist.
Mikal Bridges is going to be putting up 12 points. DeAndre Ayton is going to be putting up 12 rebounds and, 2 points. I mean, there's genuinely going to be, not too many good offensive options there after Booker. They're going to have the same problem as... Who is it? I can't remember the team off the top of my head. I'm blanking on this. That's annoying. Well, I know that there's a few teams that are stuck with one offense. I guess we could just say the Lakers and LeBron without AD. They're going to have the same problem there in Phoenix once Chris Paul's gone, because it'll be Devin Booker and nobody else.
I mean, Miami's sort of like that.
Oh, yeah, you could say Miami.
I mean, Bam's not really known for his offensive play. I mean, the rest of the guys besides Butler are just pieces there to help Butler.
And, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I think that Phoenix will be absolute garbage and will be trying to tank for the first-round pick within the next 5 years. I mean...
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see, but I think that's the trend they're going on. I think they built themselves for temporary success, not future. That's for sure.
I think they sort of hedged their bets. That's why they signed up Ayton in the end, because they're like, yeah, he's young. He fits. Mikal's not that old. They got Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson's going to be a piece for him, but it's hard, as we're seeing with the Toronto Raptors. You can have a good team, but if you don't have a point guard who's setting the table,
go sign Ricky.
How far can you go?
Go sign Rajon Rondo.
I think Rondo's never going to play in the league again.
He's
had some sort of domestic charges.
Honestly, I was just making that joke.
No, I think he had some sort of domestic thing.
Oh. Sounds
He had to
about
go to
right.
court or something. Pretty sure when we were doing our free agency, I was looking into it. But
Dwight
yeah,
Howard can run the point.
I don't see CP3 staying in the league much longer unless he gets his body right, which, as we've seen, is
Not the case.
not happening. He's always injured, and this time they're just getting longer and longer layoffs. So
Yeah, and there's only one guy who's gonna be, we're not gonna be worrying too much about his body at the moment, and that's gonna be LeBron at that age. Everyone else is, being old like a normal person.
yeah,
Yeah.
even with LeBron, like he still gets a couple. He's getting a couple of little niggly injuries from time to time, like. But his level of play is still insane. Whereas, as I mentioned before, CP3 has been declining steadily year on year. So,
And I mean, funny enough, actually, the Thurland posted the fact that LeBron is 40 and still at the back end of his prime. And I mean, that comment was also like 30, probably 45 minutes ago. Actually, probably more than that at this point. And I mean, yeah, it's actually like genuinely impressive that, LeBron is still doing LeBron stuff and he's this old. And, he's going to be, actually, that was the thing I was supposed to bring up. LeBron, I think, is like only 170 points behind Kareem at this point. That's like only 5 more LeBron games, and then, he's going to be there.
yeah, Kareem's still the GOAT. So,
I mean, it's going to be harder to push that away because, LeBron's going to be high up on the rebound total, high up on he is number 1 on points. He's going to be close to the assist record. I think he has steals. If not, he's like really close to it. I mean, he's just such an all-around talent, and it's genuinely impressive.
yeah,
I mean, it's going to be hard for
he's also
people
a knob.
Well, I mean, it's going to be hard to, push that man away from the GOAT title. And, if he takes up Kareem's scoring title, which is going to happen. If he wins one more ring, I think he's undisputed, in my opinion.
I'll still screw LeBron. He's a bum. Don't like him. Never have liked him. So he's never going to be the GOAT. I mean, he could win 5 more titles. I don't care.
Well, I mean, you just don't like Lakers players.
Nah, I've never really liked LeBron. Living in Australia, it's a bit different. Yeah, there's not many people that like are diehard about their team. You see a lot of people just walking around wearing Jordan jerseys or LeBron jerseys or Kobe jerseys, and that's all they know about basketball. Oh, LeBron! So, like, you get sick of him pretty damn quick, especially when the Heatles were happening. Like,
so you're saying you've seen a little bit too much LeBron drool over there?
oh, I'm just sick of him. I was sick of him 10 years ago. I'm sick of him now. Just retire already. Make Luka the face of the league.
I'm pretty excited for that. It's hard to dislike the Dallas Mavericks, in my opinion. They've had 2 pretty good to watch white guys as their best 2 players. I got no complaints. I mean,
Michael
not
Beasley
trying to
isn't
sound
white.
racist, but it's, kind of funny.
I mean, I always liked Dallas a little bit. Dirk was one of my favorite players, but
Dirk's a fun guy to watch, and Luka's a really fun guy to watch too. I mean, I was watching Luka yesterday because I was watching their loss to whoever the hell it was. Oh, it was the Wizards, and then Spencer Dinwiddie bullying his team, but still, it was really impressive to watch Luka. Even he had no threes last game, and yet he put up like 35 points, which was insane to watch. And then also the fact that he also just puts up these sick passing moves that are hard to deny that they're talented.
the thing I like most about watching him is he never gets rushed.
Yeah,
He just plays the game at his own speed, and everybody else just sort of has to fit in.
that's very true. I mean, I've seen that man, I swear, hold the ball in a double team for like 6 seconds, and they just didn't bother. Like, that's just insane. I don't think any other player could do that. Like, Luca is just that guy. He is him. I don't think well, not I don't think. I think that Luca, he's definitely going to be a top 5 player all time. Calling it now. He's just such a talented player, and he's probably going to easily pass up Russell Westbrook's triple-double record by the end of his career. I mean, he's already contesting triple-double records. I think he's putting up like 20 a season. I think he's almost past that already this season, and we're only halfway through.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, he's only, like 4 or 5 years into his career. You never know what can happen. But, yeah, he's definitely on track to be an all-time great.
What, is he going to get some Derrick Rose shit?
You never know, bro. I mean, how many people would have picked that with Derrick Rose? Like,
that is true. A lot of people did, but, I mean, Luka is not playing
to the extent,
Rose.
like, to the extent of what happened to Derrick Rose, like, people would have picked, yeah, he's going to get injured and have trouble with his body because he plays so hard. But, like, to the point where you're an MVP and then you're never an all-star again, like...
I mean, I don't think Luka
That's
is
a
gonna
pretty
have
big
that
drop
problem
off.
because, he was never as physical as Derrick Rose. He does dunk the
But he also
ball semi-often, but, I mean, not as much as Derrick Rose was, and he wasn't throwing his body everywhere. I think Luka's been playing it rather safe. He does.
Oh, no, I don't think
from
so.
time to
But,
time.
like, I don't think he will have any problems. But, like, you just never know, man. It's professional sports. All it takes is one injury and, like, your career's done. Like, someone lands on his ear. Look at Kawhi, man. Like, when Zaza landed on his foot, like I know that hasn't
the same sense. He's been
like I know that
on and
hasn't
off the
changed his
court.
career. Like, Zaza lands a little bit higher up on Kawhi and breaks his leg. Like, you're telling me Kawhi's going to be the same player after a broken leg? Like,
yeah.
look at Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson with his knee and his Achilles. Like, he's never going to be the player that he was. Which is why I hate when he runs his mouth so much, like he still is that guy. Like, you're not, dude. You're a role player now.
That's definitely true. And, I mean, it's one of those things where, we're just going to hope that guy, stays alive, doesn't get injured. I mean, I think Luka will have a great, great career that many are going to be jealous of. And, I mean, he's almost putting Nikola Jokic into the, the secondary spot. I think more people are interested about what Luka is doing now than Jokic, even though Jokic is playing incredible still. I think people are just tired of Jokic.
Yeah, there's always that fatigue. I mean, you've seen it. You've seen it with Giannis.
I heard the funniest shot for Jokic. Someone described Jokic's shot as the old grandpa shot. That was so funny. I couldn't keep a straight face for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's another player just does things at his own speed. I mean, when you're 7 foot, like, it probably doesn't matter that you shoot like a grandpa, because who the hell's going to contest that?
Somebody who is a annoying 8-year-old child who jumps on your back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can't do that in NBA. So
you should see some people. We got my favorite all-time clip. I think Andre Drummond's one of the funniest guys all around. I remember watching a clip of him on Shaq and the Fool where he just jumped on somebody's back like immediately during a free throw. That was so funny.
I remember that, but I don't.
He's not even playing anymore. He got pushed out of the Bulls rotation.
I mean, I don't understand why the Bulls signed him in the first place, but
Well, the Bulls were always a fan of Andre Drummond. That's something I have come to realize. And they were always like, oh, yeah, we need Andre Drummond. And then when Andre Drummond came around, it was like, the watered down, passed around three ex-girlfriends version of Andre Drummond. You know, he's not the same guy as, him in his prime, but I mean, he's still putting up, whenever he plays, like, inefficient 8 points and like 17 rebounds.
And he's like one of those guys like we were talking about before, like a Greg Monroe or Larry Sanders or someone that probably shouldn't be in the league, but Drummond just has that much clout that is like, oh no, he's still good, man.
I mean, the only reason that people give him the looks is the fact that he can put up 17 rebounds whenever he feels like it. You know who's a real guy? We should get back in the league. He's also kind of like a Greg Monroe, and his freedom and all that. We should bring back Taco Fall. Bring back.
He's playing
Taco,
in the G. He was playing in the G League.
He is still playing in the G League, but can we bring him back?
Yeah.
I think he would be a great addition.
It's a sideshow.
I mean, can you tell me right now that if we signed Taco Fall to the Garden, that the Garden's gonna be cheering MVP chants for Derrick Rose and Taco Fall?
You're just getting silly now.
I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be the funniest combo of all time. I think New York would benefit very well economically. I think that'd be a great move.
Remind me of like the Washington Bullets and Manute Bol and Muggsy Bogues. Like
that's a funny one. Oh, sign Isaiah Thomas to the Garden with Taco Fall.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose.
Bring back Nate Robinson while you're at it. Oh, Spud Webb.
We need that. The Garden needs this, dude. They would love it. We'd be putting Taco Fall in the All-Star votings. He'd be ranked 9th among big men in the East.
If you're still in the league, I reckon he probably would still be in the All-Star voting.
He probably would be. And I mean, Taco was by far one of the worst offensive players I think anyone has ever laid eyes on. But I mean, it was just kind of funny to see a 7'7" guy out there, just grab a board easier than everyone else ever could.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been so many players like that over the years. Like, every time I think of like really tall dudes, I think of Georgie Mirasan.
That's a good one.
This is just big, lumbering guy that couldn't really do anything.
That was
Taco or like
Fall.
Boban.
That's also Boban. And Boban, I mean, he made a career out of it pretty well. Mainly because he's a nice guy, but I mean, I don't think he's playing.
I still can't believe anytime he gets in, like gets on the court, like he's at the Rockets at the moment. I just still can't get over how small the ball looks in his hand. It's ridiculous.
It is so funny. Did you actually see the video? Yes. No, I think it came out today. Victor Wembanyama palming the ball with 2 fingers.
No.
This
No,
man,
I'll be honest with you. I haven't followed any of the Wembanyama stuff, to be honest.
it went on like all of NBA sites and like went all over NBA Twitter. It was like it was just a video of Victor Wembanyama being held the ball, and they asked, "Can you palm it with 2 fingers?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And then he did it. I was like, "Bro, what the hell?" This man got
Still,
long fingers.
I don't even believe him. He's real. Until he's in the league, I'm not going to believe he's real. He just looks like a video game character, to be honest. It's like I remember I used to play like NBA 2006, like the EA Sports one.
Uh-huh.
And like you could make your character like 7'6" or whatever, at the same height as Yao Ming. And I used to just make my guy that tall, and it's like, that's what Wembanyama looks like. You're not real, dude.
He's the He's the guy you hop on 2K at 3 a.m. after that you just got absolutely hammered at the party. You go on 2K with the buddies, and you just make a 7'7" demon that skinny like Victor. That's your description of this man.
It's just, as I said, until he's in the league and playing, like he's not real. He's just an attraction at Paris Disneyland. It's actually a guy wearing stilts, like.
Who got bone extensions that he just goes back to normal height afterwards.
Yeah, you got that that surgery where they like put something in your knee and you just stretch a guy.
It's so funny. Let's see. What other things could we cover? I think we got a lot of it. A lot of guys on the trade block. Mainly a bunch of guys who didn't work out too well for the team they're currently on. Those guys at the end of the bench. Just gonna go on a little tangent of side people. We got D'Angelo Russell, Eric Gordon, Josh Hart, Mo Bamba, Cam Reddish, Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka is actually really hot. He's on like 6 different teams' radars for no reason. Willie Hernan Gomez was thrown out there. Naz Reid. I mean, there's a lot of guys there. I mean, some of them have defined a role really well. I mean, Josh Hart, he's still doing great. Naz Reid's playing okay. And, I mean, there's a lot of guys here, they're playing pretty well, and they're just, an add-on, or some of these guys are playing really garbage and need a new spot. I mean, I would love to see Mo Bamba actually get real minutes again.
Yeah, I don't know. Out of all those names you mentioned, like Josh Hart piques my interest. Like Portland supposedly like trying to be contenders, so like I know they're 22 and 25 or something coming into today before the game with Utah. But like they're still like trying to be a winning team. And he's been playing really well, so I don't understand why any team tries to trade him all the time. There must be something with his personality or something. Because what I see on the court from him, he's a good player.
He tweets a lot.
But really, the rest of those names you mentioned, like as you said, there's a reason I can see them being on the trade blocks. Like they're not working out for their team at all.
Well, I mean, Josh Hart, I think, is just one of those players that contending teams want because he could do about everything, and he plays rather well. That's the reason why. But, yeah, I mean, the only reason I mentioned Mo Bamba is because I actually really enjoyed watching Mo Bamba play basketball. It was kind of funny to me. Dude would put up 3 blocks and 3 3-pointers and call it a day. And then, actually, really funny fact. I was looking at someone told me like there was a weird thing with the Utah versus Trailblazers ticket prices. So I went on, I was like, let me see the prices. There are seats at the top, like the top of the arena, priced at $1. They are selling Utah Jazz games and Utah versus Portland games for $1 out there. That is how popular both those teams have.
I mean, so did you buy some? Or?
I would have had to book a flight, and that would have been the price of like courtside. So I mean, no.
You got a push bike? Come on, man.
Let me just pull out my private jet real quick. Be right back.
Just steal your mum's car or something. Live a little.
Oh my God! Live a little. go drive like 5 states down. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Yes.
See how it happens.
Nothing wrong with that. America's tiny. You get there in no time.
Mr. Australia.
Illinois to fucking Utah. That's nothing.
I mean, it's a little bit. I've already calculated that drive a few times.
It's only like a couple of changes in the time zone. And
only. But
nothing. You'd be right.
A lot of players. Everyone, watch the trade news. A lot's gonna go down. we just had our first one. There's going to be a domino effect in my eyes. I think that Lakers trade to set the bar. I think everyone's going to be going under that bar, but they set the bar pretty well.
You never know. Like that Gobert trade just ruined everything. That one, the DeJounte Murray, the Donovan Mitchell, like it's really hard to gauge what players are worth.
The Donovan Mitchell one, in my eyes, was pretty fair. That was the only fair trade that we've seen.
Yeah, but still, they did give up a little bit. Like, I mean, I know Markkanen wasn't the player in Cleveland that he has been for Utah, but like in hindsight, if he was, like, or you knew he was going to be that player, like, I wouldn't give both him and Sexton plus first rounders. Like,
I don't think Cleveland wanted Sexton, and I don't think Utah wanted Sexton. I think nobody wanted Sexton. He was just kind of there.
If Utah didn't want Sexton, why did they had to re-sign him to make the trade work? It was like a sign and trade.
I think they did it just because Cleveland made it a part of their trade. They were like, yeah, we don't really want Sexton, so y'all take him. If you don't take him, this trade is not going to work. It's like a forced trade. I mean, the main part that Utah was really hyped about was not necessarily only Markkanen, but Agbaji as well. He's been playing pretty all right. I got no complaints.
Oh, that's the rookie that you guys just picked up.
Yeah, he's been playing really well, surprisingly.
Can't say I know anything about him.
Well, he's pretty exciting to watch. I don't think he's gonna turn into an all-star, but I think he could be a nice off the bench presence. I have no complaints about that, man. He's that guy. In 3 years from now, you're gonna think of him as the guy who was 78 overall in NBA 2K for like 7 years in a row. Not necessarily 7, but every year in his career, he's gonna be the same overall. That's the guy you're gonna be thinking of as.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's just kind of funny.
Just reminds me of Grievous Vasquez. He was like 73 for like every year that he played with the Kings. He was a baller, bro. He used to drop points, mad points with him. Tyreek Evans, he's not starting. Grievous Vasquez.
Well, I think we're about done here, though. Are we? I don't know. Are we? Huh?
You're the one with the topic.
Skippy, are we done here?
Did we hit all the topics?
I don't know.
Why are you so loud?
We're totally doing this off of our memory.
But yeah,
I am. I think can't open another app on phone or crash.
I mean, yeah, it's mainly the fact of. I guess we could keep going for a little bit longer because this 2K game that's pretty much out of hand. They're like up by, the Mavericks are up by like 9 right now. They're up by like 16 earlier because it was like the first quarter score was like 18-2. It was like, damn, y'all really bullied them. But I mean, I guess we could talk a little bit more, just hang out a little bit. Anyone have any questions in the chat? I don't even know if we got anybody in the chat. But if anyone has them, feel free. Random topics, we'll take them. No.
It's really there's not much else we can hit on until a bunch of trades start dropping. Like, I mean, you hope this is like a domino effect, but trade deadline's still not for another couple of weeks. So we'll see.
I know that in a few days from now, I mean, it's not necessarily going to be NBA related, but I definitely know we need to start covering March Madness soon. We're almost in February. It's almost that time where we're going to have to start, covering which prospect's been looking pretty good. Because, I mean, the March Madness is a huge spotlight for, a lot of players that weren't necessarily looked at before.
Yeah, I'll try and do some research on it. As I said, it's going to be hard for me just because we don't get the games until March Madness actually starts. So, like, I'd have to actually do like in-depth looking into college rankings and standings and potential players. For some reason, we get the what's that other league? The kids playing. I can't think of the name now.
G League.
Overtime Elite or whatever it is.
Overtime.
We get those games.
Popular.
We get those games here.
That's.
But
really
like
fun.
we don't get regular college games. Like
Australia doesn't count. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting thing this year, and mainly because of the fact that the teams that are usually like the top four, at least the past few March Madnesses, are not actually like that good anymore. Duke's not even like predicted to be in the March Madness bracket this year. They kind of
Really?
fell off after Zion and RJ dipped.
they had a decent team last year. AJ Griffith, Paolo, like.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they got eliminated in like round 2 still.
Yeah, well, it's March Madness, one game playoff. Like, anything can happen. I mean, that's why they call it madness. But I mean, like, that's a decent team. Like, I'm pretty sure all of their starting 5 got drafted, or at least four out of the 5, maybe. So, like, they're not scrubs. And Kansas
year
is a
they are.
decent-sized team. Like,
Kansas
they ended up
is, like-
winning it.
Kansas is like down like 8 right now. I mean, I haven't done much watching of college basketball. I've been more focusing along the lines of NBA because I'm trying to see the flow of teams at the moment, just to get that eye test, as Skippy likes to say, of about every team, so I could have an opinion on it.
It's probably different for me, like, obviously not being in the States, so, like, I don't get that. I know there's a big furor over, like, college sports, like football and basketball. Like, you guys love that shit. And, like,
Nobody really
I
cares
don't really
about college
care.
basketball until March Madness really starts happening.
like, I don't really care about it until it's, like, draft time. Then I'll go back and watch the games. Like once I knew that the Kings, like, last season couldn't make the playoffs, like, at all, like, I started watching, like, all right, I'm going to watch a whole bunch of Purdue games. I'm going to watch a whole bunch of Iowa games. I'll watch a whole bunch, of, like, to look at the dudes that we could potentially draft so I can make an opinion on it. Like, I watched a lot of Duke.
He's like, we need to get Paulo Banchero onto the Kings.
Yeah, like, I was watching, like, the top 5 guys. I can't even remember, like, what schools half these guys play for, but I was looking, like, all the way down to, like, probably the dudes that went in the top 10. Like, I was looking at a lot of Matherin, AJ Griffith, but he played with Paolo, so I was watching them at the same time. Jabari, Chet, Ivy, Keegan Murray, just all those guys having a look. So I watched a lot of college basketball, like I remember there was one game I randomly watched with Johnny Davis, whatever school he was playing at, against Iowa. Like, just random games, but, like, in the moment when it's happening, I don't really pay that much attention to it.
Yeah, it's something that I don't really pay attention to well to either. I mean, I know I have to start paying attention, these college guys, see, who's going to be good and all. Especially since, I just need to form an opinion on it. But, I mean, I know Scoot, Wembanyama are, like, the top 2. Then, I forgot who the third guy's name is, but there's, like, a confirmed third. And then, like, after the third guy, it's like, it just jumps around everywhere.
There's
Drafts.
There's 2 brothers.
Yeah, the Thompson twins, but I mean, one of them's like predicted to be like 4th or 5th pick, and the other one's predicted to be like 20th. So I mean,
yeah, it's still pretty good though. Like, literally, if I had to, like, make an opinion on any college players right now, the only player I could tell you about is Chris Murray, Keegan's twin brother. Like, that's it.
Are you ready for our last game? It just ended.
Dirk dropped 20.
Brian also did not touch the floor in this game.
What is wrong with them?
They lost by like 12 still. They still didn't touch
That's Doc Rivers coaching. God damn it, Doc.
Ray Allen
Play the-
did not take 13 shots this time. He only took 2 and went 1 of 2. He scored 3 points. The highest scorer of the Celtics was James Posey. No one was expecting that one walking into this game. Dropped 8 points
couldn't
on
either.
3 of 4 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3.
Couldn't even tell you that he played for him.
Dude was the best scorer, 8 points in 8 minutes. And Deshaun Stevenson was the leading scorer for the Mavericks with 11.
Forgot he played for him as well.
Jason Terry and Rondo were second place in scoring, and Dirk and Kevin Garnett third. And fourth, Kendrick Perkins. We love Kendrick
Yeah,
Perkins.
that's just ridiculous. Oh yeah, I love his takes that are different to his other takes.
His takes are
I hate
just
said
being
player.
funny.
2 weeks later, oh yeah, this player's really good. Make up your mind, dude. Just stick with it. Like, I'm always gonna stick with I don't like LeBron. So like, it's not that hard.
I don't know. He's one of those guys who would like back up if the player started talking back to him. Like, if he said, "Oh yeah, I hate LeBron," LeBron would like post something and then he'd be like apologizing for his take.
I don't know. I find in the media world, the former players, the ones that you think should like have the most informed and best opinions on the sport, are usually the stupidest.
Unless it's
Have
JJ
the
Redick.
worst takes.
Unless it's JJ Redick. JJ Redick's
Yeah.
pretty good. He's not
JJ's
the
alright.
best, but he's pretty good.
He's entertaining. I give him that.
The biggest lead
But,
for the
yeah,
Mavericks was 17. Damn.
Paul Pierce and Kendrick Perkins are definitely like the worst offenders. They have changed an opinion like in a sentence.
That's why Paul Pierce was fired. No one look up why he was actually fired. Didn't
I love
tell
how he
you
said,
why.
"Oh, you know, my prime, I was better than D Wade." Like, man, no, you weren't, dude.
I remember, like, he was talking crap about how he was better than, like, LeBron. And then, like, they showed, LeBron's, like, 38-year-old games and, like, Paul Pierce's 38-year-old games and just absolutely blew this man out of the water. It was so funny.
Paul Pierce played like 6 minutes off the bench for the Wizards.
Yeah, he had
Shoot
0
a bunch
points.
of bricks.
He had 0 points. And then LeBron is like 40 points a game. It's like, bruh, you really just did the what was it? Like the LeBron Michael Kidd Gilchrist. No, Carmelo Michael Kidd Gilchrist matchup thing right there.
MKG. He was a good player. I liked him. He wasn't really a good player, but
He was a
I
good
always
player.
liked him.
He wasn't really a good player.
That's
That man
all.
was
Chandler-
all
in a
defense, no offense, like we talked about last
Yeah.
episode.
He had that janky jump shot. His arms were like off to the side.
Lonzo was like reminding me of his jump shot for a little bit when he first was in the league.
I don't even get that. It's like, man, I can't shoot threes. You ever watch tape of yourself back? Like, that's why you can't shoot threes, dude. Straighten your freaking arms.
Just be normal for 5 seconds.
just try to have a normal looking jump shot. Might help you.
You ain't that guy, bro. You're shooting. He was like shooting left-sided, and he was a right-handed player. Like that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense, dude.
I'm just gonna release the ball to the left of my ear. Okay.
Well, you're
Look
right-handed.
at this
though.
side spin I'm getting on the ball.
Dude would be hitting the top of the backboard.
Oh man. I don't know why. I've got like a soft spot for dudes with janky jump shots. Like I said before, like Sean Marion was one of my favorite players. His jump shot wasn't any better.
Very true. Very true.
He shot like a 6-year-old would. I'm gonna shoot from my chest.
Yeah, and It's really funny to watch jump shots like that. They'll always give you a nice laugh, but they never work.
Marion was decent.
I mean, yeah, but he still wasn't that good of a, 3-point shooter.
Hey, if you ever used him on NBA 2007, dude could knock it down.
I didn't use him on NBA 2007.
It's a good game. It's one with T-Mac on the cover.
Anyways, everyone, if you want to see me versus Skippy on NBA 2K22, please put that put that in the comments. I would be down for the stream me dropping this man the heck off live.
Put in the GoFundMe so I can get a PlayStation first.
I said 22, not 23. I have 22 on Xbox.
You want me to school you?
Yeah, I'm going to be the one schooling you. I'm going to get my Utah team back. You know how many
Will the
years
rosters
I
be
played that
updated?
Utah team?
Do I still have Sabonis?
You have Sabonis, yes.
Sweet.
Well,
I'll use
anyways,
the 85-80 Celtics.
if y'all want to see that, put that in the comments. Or if you want to put any, what you want to see us do, put that in there, We love suggestions. Even if that suggestion is bring Tank back, we can't really control that. But Skippy, what do you have to say? What would you say to get Tank back?
I've got candy in my van.
Really? Really?
That's all I got.
Can I come over?
You can't afford a plane ticket to Utah. How are you going to fly to Australia?
Candy.
I've got you there.
I could probably afford it. It just won't be very good for the after effect.
Ride your bike. There's water.
Oh, yeah. Let me just buy my submarine real quick.
Hey, you know what you need? You need one of those push bikes that has the flipper things on it.
Oh my god. Oh my
20 years later. I'm here! I'm here!
I don't know how I would survive. I'd be out of food within a week. But yes.
Yeah, what about when it comes to nighttime? I'm gonna go to sleep. Oh wait, my bike will tip over and I'll get eaten.
I'll be I have to fish, except I will have to bring a grill with me, and then I'd be okay.
I can eat raw fish. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I mean, eventually, after eating raw fish for however many days, it probably won't be very okay anymore.
You'd be right.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the ocean. What's my odds of doing it right?
You'd be right.
Well, that is gonna be it for our stream. Yank signing off. Skippy, you want to say anything?
Peace out.
That's it, huh? You got nothing?
No, that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, you don't want to end on a big motivational quote?
Like the late great Colonel Sanders said, I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.